You want to look back after you shall have left college, you want to look back and say, okay, I did something positive when I was in college. You can never look back on preaching hatred and animosity for somebody else simply because you do not see eye to eye in terms of ideology. I tell you, most students are now tired of this black and white divide because you can't go on seeing everything in terms of black and white.
The University of Sierra Leone, Fourways College, has had a very rich history. One of the first universities of Sub-Saharan Africa. It has a history. There's so many problems there. There's so many problems. And I think it's sad, yeah.
Bob Marley was saying, if you are the big tree, we are the small axe, ready to chop you down. So, to us, the impression of these lyrics was like revolutionary.
I grew up in a family where my father was highly political, but I mean, we thought so many things were going wrong. And having read through, I mean, most of the literatures we went through, and we had our own role models like Thomas Sankara, Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, Jerry Rawlings, Mao Zedong. You know, I think those were people we thought we could emulate. A people are a people, no matter what. If they're oppressed, you're oppressed. Whether you're oppressed in China, you're oppressed in America, we identify with the oppressed.
We were like the platform that could approach government. We felt we had not been heard, and we had to make Shaka Stevens understand what we thought about his regime and how the people were being treated.
We were sitting out on it's a sort of patio of sorts, smoking cigarettes, bought from the small table there. And after dinner, sort of discussion. And then out of the blue, the matter came up about what we were going to do about the deteriorating conditions in the country and the lack of pluralism, that democracy had just about been banished, that we had a de facto one-party state, and really there was no opposition, organized political opposition in the country. So students began to sort of view themselves as the only voice of opposition in the country. That discussion culminated in a haphazard plan of sorts, but a crystallized intention to register some sort of protest the next day at the degree conferment ceremonies.
The night before, the whole of Friday night, we were designing these placards and things like that. And we kept them within our clothes, and most of them surrounded the entire amphitheater, sitting around the top. And they were sitting there just waiting. The whole ceremony went through and came for the president to make his speech. And he started his speech, but then he started to hear murmurs and noises. And when he lifted his head up, he realized that the whole perimeter was surrounded by students holding up, down to Shaka Stevens, this thief, all kinds of things. And he was shocked.
Placards just erupted from everywhere. And, no to APC kleptocracy, I remember, no to dictatorship, a lot of these kinds of sentiments. And the president was frozen.
You had ambassadors, you had ministers of state, everybody was there. The message could not have been bolder. And he was able to read some of them. And I think his security people advised him that it was not safe for him to stay.
Stevens made his escape, and I mean escape, very unceremonious, very undignified exit. And chaos ensued. I was among those who believed fervently that we should expect some reaction out of any proportion.
I think it was a Tuesday night that they came up. I think it was like 2 or 3 busloads of them. And they ran riot. They were smashing the doors down, running after students, beating them up.
They just descended on a university that was mayhem. Looting, raped the girls at Lati Hyde. By Tuesday, the country was in uproar. Government buildings were being burnt in almost every district, including stronghold districts of the APC.
We're going out to demonstrate, and they started to demonstrate every single day in the streets. It got to the point where from Shaka Stevens Street, Padembo Road, all along to PZ, the students would converge there and would be really attacking the police, fighting. And the government realized they had a choice, either start shooting at the children or finding a way to get them back home and back to school.
Those demonstrations, interestingly, almost brought the APC government at the time, almost brought the government down.
We achieved far more than we ever dreamt we could achieve. I think we came pretty close, not deliberately, but pretty close to toppling the government.
Could tell that I was going to win. I had that much confidence, I had that much faith, and it was almost obvious.
I was very much sure that the possibility of me losing the election is almost impossible.
It's always been this violent. We don't know how it got to this point, because students' politics is supposed to be fun. At a point in time, we just started seeing stones. People were actually pelting stones, and these were students at us.
The black people started throwing stones. The black entities started throwing stones on the general entity when they are coming with their candidates, you understand? By then I was there. I was a live eyewitness. I was there.
I was attacked. You know, I was coming with my group and we were like chanting victory songs when suddenly we started seeing pelting of stones all over the place, pelting of stones. And that was how the program was disrupted.
With the current status on campus where there is no student union government, this goes to say that there is no mouthpiece to advocate for student welfare. This goes to say that there is no one who will talk to government on behalf of FBC College students. This goes to say that the fact that the college is without hostels will continue. The fact that there are no buses will continue because, I mean, you need somebody to be pressuring both administration and government to ensure that these amenities are restored back to students. So the fact that there is no government means there is no medium through which student concerns will be carried to the authorities.
On each campus you have camps, you have political camps, whether it's they are tied or they are connected to two main political parties in the country is another thing, but people say they are. But they have political camps. On my own campus in FBC College, we have the white camp and the black camp.
But from what I'm hearing now, like there's a stark divide between white and black, like literally black and white, like they really don't see eye to eye, and I think it's crazy out there. And if you ask me the reason why, I just think people actually might be benefiting from that divide and rule, because I really don't see the ideological difference. I'm waiting for someone to actually tell me what the white would say or do when they are in office from what the black would say or do when they're in office.
The campus is even divided as to where people go to eat, where people sit to wait for their next classes. There are invisible lines. There are invisible lines saying, okay, those in the black camps will congregate around this particular end, and those belonging to the white camp will congregate around this particular area. And it's not healthy. And the administration is really, I believe they are actually overwhelmed with this whole black and white divide.
You know, we have a different mentality here. I mean, people think with violence you can get yourself whatever you want, I mean, in terms of politics. So they will intimidate you, they will go to your room and they will try to get at you. You know, of course you you have to be careful and how you go. You have people around you, of course, protecting you from time to time. But it gets very, very violent. People fight, throw stones, and apparently it wasn't like that in the past.
Now, we go to a campus. You see students fighting each other. Right? No, we didn't fight each other. We fought ideologically, intellectually. We wrote on Chooks Press. We write. Yeah, positions. Come up with your positions. We debate. Yeah, now. And then we come together to fight against the administration or fight against the central government. You see, but that's not what's happening now.
The spate of violence now, it's way, 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 way high. And from when you hear students talk about student union politics or about the other side, I mean, the venom with which they talk, I mean, it's scary. I mean, there's so much hatred among them. Like, it's a do or die battle to win elections.
I mean, it's like a cult as far as I'm concerned. So there's an aspect of cultism. And the last time here on campus, they had an initiation ceremony on the beach, and somebody died. A student died. So whatever they did, or whatever they do in these initiation ceremonies, I don't think they're healthy for the well-being of boys and men and women on campus.
Violence, it is a kind of tradition now. You might be sitting with your colleagues discussing the issues on politics, then all of a sudden you see stones and bottles coming from nowhere. And then you need to protect yourself. So all you have to do is to take another stone or bottle again, throw it again. You don't have a way to say, let me don't allow this thing to happen. Because that is your kind of, I would say, indoctrination. You understand? That is your own ideology. You understand? That if somebody else is coming there to confront you, then you also stand to confront him as well. So you need to stand, you need to confront it. You understand? He hit you hit him again. You understand? And then you see your colleagues coming and also your opponent colleagues coming. So they start the violence and then fight all over the place. These are the kind of things that happen. It is part of me. All of us take part. All of us take part. You take part, I take part. Because if there is nobody that's coming your way, then you will not go anybody's way.
You know, this country has gone through a lot of violence. During the war, a lot of people have been exposed to the fighting as children. And as time progressed, some of these children have grown into adults and now they've made it to the university. For the most part of their lives, they've been used to voicing their anger through violence means. And when they got to college, I'm pretty sure there are some people they cannot easily speak their mind or be in position to you without actually trying to hurt you.
I have never seen the kind of emotional instability of students like the ones we have here. I really honestly believe that's because of the war. These students that we're seeing right now, they are direct remnants of the war. And so they are very warlike.
In the aftermath of a war, there is naturally an imbued culture of violence by the very nature of the war itself. And you'll not be surprised that most of the students today are byproducts of the war. They witnessed the war at a very tender age. And the level of violence, I can only say, is a dividend of the war, is a byproduct of the war that has influenced the conduct of students.
The sad thing is that the anger, the violence, the protestation has been pitted against each other. It's not like against the system now. It's against each other. And this is what the polarization is producing. So, that's it.
Elections were cancelled because of student violence, and I make no defense for the students. They were really very violent, and that's so disgusting. I think that as university students, they ought to have behaved themselves pretty well. I feel ashamed that the college administration succumbed to what I feel was a blackmail to have called off the elections, more or less effectively banned student unionism, just because that was student violence. Unfortunately, when the college administration had taken action in the past against certain unruly students, there had been also central government involvement to overturn the college administration's decision. So that's a catch-22 the administration finds itself in. If it acts, it faces the wrath of the central government. If it doesn't act, reasonable people criticize it.
There are politicians who promise you scholarship, every student loves. They will even make promises to students saying, after your first degree, I will ensure that you have an international scholarship so that you can pursue your master's degree in a foreign country. And that's an offer that's very hard for a lot of student politicians to ignore. They try to get you indebted to them. Maybe they will try to send, some welcome package for you, or they try to invite you to their office to have a chat. It's more of a Pandora's box. The moment you start receiving small gifts, receiving phone calls, keeping appointments with them, you get sucked in, and it will be very difficult for you to back out after receiving a few favors here and there.
Since 2007, we've not really had, an open opposition to this government from the university. If you put the current SU, like they have the student union scholarships, every year the government gives scholarship to students. And if you check the list of people on the scholarship, if you really want to do a check, just go back and check from 2007 on to date and see. I want to check all the names of those that are on this student union scholarship to Frobe College. And I tell you, the majority will be supporters of, will be one on the white, people from the white camp, and then two supporters of the All People's Party.
If you have a situation where an election on campus is going to be supposedly won by an opposing group, like members of the radicals or the black camp, under this current situation, the APC is going to impose or suspend the election. The government is going to do that. They prevent any kind of opportunity that will allow students to develop the kind of unity that will allow them to direct whatever anger, whatever energy that they have against the central government that is the source of all the problems that they are faced with on campus, whether it's hike in education fees, lack of services on campus like water supply, good classrooms, furniture on classrooms, and all of those other things. So by creating the kind of feeling or supporting the kind of divisions that already exist on campus, they create an antagonism among the students that consumes their energy, consumes their effort, and also prevent them from realistically coming together and understanding that they have to engage the central government and push out for demands that will address their own problems.
National politics has eaten so much into the fabric of the students of Fairbanks College, and this has brought so much divergence between the student body as a whole, because previously they fight for student unionism, and because they had a united student body, they go to government, they speak with one voice and tell the government that no, our fees are high, you have to put our fees down. And the government, they did. They even go to strike, the students strike, and their voices were being heard. But where are we students today? Because these politicians downtown, because they are so involved in the student politics of the colleges, not only for Bay College, right? So for that reason, they've put how would I say? They've put a line between us. The center cannot hold any longer between us students, and we fight each other, and then they are happy down there, but they're invisible. You won't see them. But if you ask me, if you ask other students, we know national politics is so much involved into student politics.
It is not an official policy of the party to involve in student politics. But that notwithstanding, the party continues to see students as potential leaders and have encouraged them to participate in the politics of the party at their own level and even at national level. We as a party, we do not go down and meddle with the politics of institutions. We do not involve in student politics.
I find it extremely disappointing and unfortunate because the students are busy fighting each other. They have been divided into camps. They have the blacks and whites, and political parties have infiltrated the student body so badly that they're no longer students, and they do so much harm to each other. And that is what my biggest worry is, that they do so much harm to each other. It's totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. They've been so divided. I wonder how long it will take for students to come back together and have the kind of unity and cohesiveness that we had at the time. Today, they're not a force anymore. Before, we were a force.
Because the division there has created so many kind of problems for the students in general, because we are not benefiting anything. There is no one to speak for us, or there is no one to speak on behalf of students. We don't have a SU president. We are not united as a union. We are not making way forward to at least salvage the situation of students on campus. Now there are no hostels. So who is there to speak for us? Nobody. So in the future, if these two camps can at least come together and then forge a way ahead, and then I believe the student welfare will be maximized. We will have a better condition of living as students than as divided political camps.
The way the situation is now, student unionism has reached its lowest. It can't go any lower than where it is now. So it can only get better. Pretty soon this whole thing will pass away, I'm pretty sure. It won't be easy, but it will pass away.
But until the politicians downtown behave themselves and take their hands off student politics, until the college administration stands up on its own and says no to any central government interference, there will be no change in the polarity that has characterized students' union politics these days on campus.
I hate to lose hope. Someday, perhaps after me, but I don't see it so soon. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Someday, perhaps.